Welcome back to our channel, Hume's Little Homestead. We are super excited that you stopped by today because today we are going to have some pie. Oh yeah. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be experimenting with all kinds of different recipes. I want to try all different kinds of pie before Thanksgiving actually gets here. And lucky for you, I'm going to try out all the recipes here at home, and I'm going to share them in the description box below. And you can pick whatever pie you like best, if it looks easier to make or harder to make or fancy or traditional or non-traditional. I'm going to be trying all different kinds of pie. When I think of Thanksgiving and fall and all things fall, I think of apples and pumpkins. And so I'm going to be kicking off this series with apple pie.
Apple pie.
Apple pie. You want up here? Emmett's eating some apples. You want to show him your apple? You got an apple?
Yeah.
It's yummy, huh? So today we are going to make a traditional apple pie. The recipe I found is from the website Taste of Home Kitchen, and I will share that recipe down below in the description box. The recipe also has some really awesome tips at the very bottom of it. Hey. Hey. And I will share those tips at the end of the video, so stick around. I also found some interesting facts about where the American pie originated, or where the apple pie, calling it the American pie, the apple pie originated, and it wasn't in America. I wasn't that surprised because everything American seems to have been stolen from other countries, like French fries. It's called French fries. Did the French make them? I don't think so. Potatoes are an Ireland thing, right? Fried potatoes? I don't know. I just know that everything that I think always thought of as being so American came from other countries. It didn't really come from America, but most of America came from all different countries too. Okay, I don't want to get into any political content. So, I'm just going to make an apple pie today and share the recipe with you. I hope that you like this video. I hope that you like the recipe that we make, and if you give it a try, please let me know down in the comments and tell me if you enjoyed this recipe, if you enjoyed the tips and tricks that I'm going to share, and how you're doing today. Alright, let's get started and make an apple pie. Cheers!
Cheers.
Who knows where it came from? Apple pie is good. First thing we need to make a great pie is a great crust, a great pie crust. The recipe I'm going to be using is also from Taste of Home. It is classic butter pie crust. So I will leave the recipe for that in the description box below as well. We have our pie dough done. We made the double crust. So there's a recipe for a single crust and a recipe for a double crust. With apple pie, you want a crust on the bottom and a crust on the top. So it says to make one of your dough balls larger than the other. So we have one larger one here. And the ingredients that we used to make this were flour, butter, water, and a tiny bit of salt. If you're using salted butter, you can probably leave the salt out, but we used unsalted butter. So what we're going to do now is we are going to make our dough balls into discs. So what I'm going to do is, excuse me, Emmett, back up a little. Thanks, bud.
Wow.
Wow. We're going to put the dough ball on some cling wrap.
Wow. You did it.
We're going to spray the cling wrap with cooking spray. Excuse me, Emmett. I'm gonna put the little one on here. We're gonna roll it out a little. Just a little bit.
Help.
Just a minute. I'm actually gonna pat it down because our cling wrap is moving around and we don't want that.
Why?
Because
Why?
this is gonna be the top of the pie. We're getting another piece of cling wrap. I'm gonna spray it over here. Sorry, it's not gonna be on camera. And plop it down on there. Okay?
Dory!
We are making our pie crust.
Hello. Help.
And then we're gonna roll it a little more and thin it out. And then we're gonna save this in the fridge until we are ready
Help.
to assemble our pie. You wanna do this part? Good job, Emmett. I'm gonna do that to this other dough ball over here. And I will meet you back when it is time to make the filling for the apple pie. The first thing I'm gonna do is peel and chop my apples. So I like this tool a lot. I don't have any really tips on how to make this part go faster. This part is the most time-consuming part of the process. So I'm just going to wash my apples. After washing your apples, take them and I chop them with this. I know there's other tools out there. This is just what I have. To get the core out,
Dory. Help.
and then it's still got some seeds. Just a second, buddy. You can't help with this part
What?
because it's sharp. And then I'm gonna take whatever I don't want right here. If there's any of that middle part, just carefully cut it and then cut the skin off.
Think up. Yeah. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
And I will give this skin to my chickens. So it's not a waste, it's just... Okay, now I kind of like bite-sized apples, so I'm actually going to cut this into half, right like that. Okay, so I want small bites in my apple pie. I don't want you getting giant chunks of apple. I'm actually going to break that in half. So that's the size I like to chop my apples for apple pie. For the apple pie filling, I'm going to do that with the rest of the apples. And I will meet you back when this is nice and full. I completely forgot to measure. This recipe calls for 6 to 7 cups, so I'm going to go with 7 cups. I like a very full apple pie. So I'm just going to fill my slices in this cup as I go. And cup number 7. Now that the 2 most time-consuming parts of this project are out of the way, let's start on making the filling. I see one I missed. Just get it real fast. Please don't touch the apples, Emmett. Thanks. Look at this really pretty pie pan my mom gave me for Christmas. It's Pampered Chef, and I haven't used it very much yet, so I'm really excited to use it. So I'm going to go grab the pie crust and we're gonna lay it in here. Step number 1 to making this apple pie is to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and then roll out the dough and put it in the pie pan. apple pie.
Apple pie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Help. Dear. Help.
Yeah.
Dad. More. Dear.
Moving back to our apples, now that the pie crust is ready, we are going to put our lemon juice on our apples. This recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and you're just gonna toss it in your apples. And I probably should have done it right away because you can see they're starting to get brown. It takes me a long time to cut and chop. I am not the best chopper and cutter. All right, so we're gonna take 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and coat our apples and toss them all together. In our smaller bowl here, we're going to combine our sugar, our flour and our sugar. So the first thing to go in is 1/3 cup of white sugar. One-third cup of brown sugar. And it says packed brown sugar, so make sure you do that. 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. One teaspoon of ground cinnamon. One-fourth teaspoon of ground ginger. And 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. I'm just going to whisk all this together. All right, I think it's ready to add to the apples. So I am just going to oh, I forgot about butter. Add sugar mixture, toss to coat. Okay, we don't add the butter yet. Following the instructions. Add the sugar onto the apples and toss it. This is my first time making this recipe of apple pie. It smells really, really good. Like I said, this is all going to be like an experimenting with all different kinds of pies. I cannot wait for my kids to try this one. It's going to taste so yummy. I didn't talk about what kind of apples I used. I am using Granny Smith apples. A long time ago, I read that Granny Smith apples were the best. I don't remember why. I think it has something to do with their tartness. And in the tips I'm going to share at the end, it also recommends Granny Smith apples. So stay tuned for those tips. Okay, that looks really yummy, doesn't it? It smells like fall in here. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Isn't that funny that the apple pie didn't originate in America? It kind of makes sense, though. I guess apple trees didn't even originate in America. There were crab apple trees, but not like bigger apple trees. That's where Johnny Appleseed came from. Apparently, he's a real person. I was reading all about it this morning. I can't give you the exact details because I don't remember it all, but I was like, wow, Johnny Appleseed is real. All right, that's coated. All right, now we are going to fill our pie with this apple stuff that we made.
Mommy.
Do you see it?
Wow.
Apple pie. This is called the filling.
Wow.
All right. Now we're gonna gently press those apples down into place. I'm glad I went with 7 cups. You could have used 6 if you wanted, but I went ahead with 7, and I'm pretty happy about that decision right now. Seems like a pretty exciting life decision that I made. Okay, good. Now it says to dot with butter on top, and it calls for 1 tablespoon of butter, so we're gonna just do our best here. Okay. Let's see what we can do here, buddy.
Dot.
We're gonna dot it with butter.
Dot it. Butter.
Mm-hmm.
Dot.
Butter makes everything better. Except your cholesterol.
Me.
Okay.
How to beat.
And your arteries. There we go. Dotted with butter. The last and final step is adding the top on this pie. I'm not going to be doing a cute pie crust. I think it's called lattice. The lattice pie crust is really cute. But today I'm just going to go with a very simple, basic, over the top, tuck in the apples, and bake them. Yeah, we're going to put the top on the pie now. So I made the decision to not refrigerate these discs. Every time I refrigerate them, it makes it so hard to work with, and I'm super happy with my decision to not refrigerate because they've been more pliable. Just the recipe says to chill, and every single recipe says chill your pie disc. And I just am always frustrated that the pie disc is falling apart and cold when I need to use it. So instead, this time I left it sitting out on the counter. Find your other spoon, please. This time I left it sitting out on the counter, and it's super easy to work with. Let's see how it does transferring onto the top. You saw how well it went in to the bottom part already. All right, I hope it's big enough. This looks a little small. Huh. Pretty good. Sorry, I'm blocking your view here. All right. What do you think? Fits pretty good. I'm going to fold over the edges to pinch it together from the bottom. Okay, it's not the prettiest edges, but okay, let's try and make it pretty now. I distinctly remember. There we go. Excuse me, little buddy. Okay, I think I need some work on my edging. We'll see how this turns out. I am just winging it right now. Winging it. Mom's winging it. This pie pan has super cute little ridges that I probably could have pressed it down into and made it look better. Okay, I think I'm supposed to put some slits on there though. I do think that. Don't touch, please. Well, I mean, it probably couldn't do much damage to it, actually. Excuse me. You're a spider?
No.
Excuse me.
Hang the butter.
Oh. Okay, there's how it's looking. Now it goes into the oven 60 to 70 minutes. Excuse me, Emmett.
Got it?
I just want it to look like a classic apple pie.
What? Apple pie.
Apple pie. That was adorable. I hope the camera picked up how he said that. Okay. I need some work on my...
Yep. Does it?
Thanks. He said it was a door. Okay, that is so off-centered. It's okay. Let's put it in the oven. I have a confession to make. I seriously misjudged my time and did not manage my time very well today. So I put the pie in the oven and I am testing out the time bake. I've done the time bake once. You can see I do not bake very often. So this pie is supposed to stay in the oven for 70 minutes, 60 to 70 minutes. So I went ahead and put it in for 70 minutes. And I'm gonna go pick up the kids from school and I'm gonna pray that my oven turns off when the time bake turns off, because I'm not entirely sure this is going to work. Stay tuned. Let's see if I burn the pie or hopefully don't burn my house down. So Ryan got home before me today and he took the pie out of the oven. Ryan?
Yep, it looks great. Smells so good and looks great.
So let's take a look at it.
Apple juice says.
There it is. It turned out to be pretty, even though I messed up my... Did you see how uneven my strips were?
I thought they were good.
My vent holes. I don't know what you call those.
Vent holes.
Well, it didn't burn, and it got the perfect golden brown color, even when I wasn't home to watch it.
She put it on this time cook or something.
Yes, good job, time cook on the oven.
And she said she put it on time cook, and she wasn't sure if time cook was gonna work because we've never used it before.
I've used it once or twice, but I'm always going to be home within like 30 minutes.
Our oven.
And I wasn't going to be home that soon.
Our oven is kind of unreliable.
No, it's not.
The oven is brand new.
Like,
What are you saying? It's unreliable. Oh, these keep breaking off because you guys bump them.
No, these aren't falling off. I fixed them all.
But they got broken from you guys.
well, I
I broke one of them too.
Oh, you did?
That was a confession anyway.
Confession?
That's what happened.
So, Levi, that one time when Levi did it.
Okay.
You should
But that doesn't make it unreliable. That's called user error.
What happens is you're walking by and your butt hits them, boom, and it breaks them off. They're just thin plastic.
Did you have fun at dance? Haley, you want to tell them about cheer camp?
Oh.
Let's move
What happened to Hannah?
I want to go to cheer
I
camp.
accidentally scraped my nose on the carpet and got a low burn.
Oh, I dance?
I wanted to go to cheer camp, but they didn't give my class a slip.
I saw girls in your class there.
What?
They were all girls, though. I don't think you would have felt very comfortable at the cheer camp. None of your boy friends were there.
Was any single boy there? Nope.
No, no boys. Haley, how was cheer camp?
Good.
Good.
Just left that for any reason.
Was Cone's sister there?
Do you want to show what you learned a little bit, or wait? Okay.
I just want to show you.
Cone's sister is good at cheer. So Cone's sister, Cone's my friend, and today I was playing football with him, and his sister, Cone made a touchdown, and I was like, wow, and his sister was all, go Cohen, go Cohen, go Cohen.
That's so cute.
Sister.
What do you see, Emmett?
Shaya?
Should be Haley's, in Haley's bed.
Ow. Oh, the one at Friday morning.
Not sure. Can you put this in the middle?
So Friday morning.
Or like to the side of the middle and the pie's gonna go in the middle? Da, 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 da. Come in for pie! Oh my goodness, be careful with Emmett.
No, hold on to him.
He's gonna be super dizzy. Don't let him go. Oh, he's not dizzy.
Are we cutting it now?
Yes!
Daddy's cutting the pie.
How do you want me to cut it? Like this? Or the whole thing like I do?
Oh, is that gonna scrape this pan? It's a Pampered Chef.
I don't know.
I don't want it to get scraped.
Well, it's going to be a metal thing no matter what.
Just, can you be
It's got to
gentle?
be designed for that.
Make small pieces.
Everybody says small pieces. They're full from the potatoes. Caden wants a big piece.
I want a big piece.
I'm gonna start not too big though. Piece like not too small, but
Crust
not too
is
big.
perfecto.
Perfecto.
Like I want one of the.
I want it so
I want one
smaller than that.
What are those called?
Yes, that is too big a piece.
What?
I will have the whole pie.
You would. Oh, on Mommy's celebration day, she can have her very own 10 cupcakes.
They wanted
Decorated
small pieces?
and frosted and made by a big piece. So I'm gonna have a kind of big piece. Like just split it in half.
That's probably Haley, Hannah, Emmett right there. And Caden wants a big piece.
Just like covering those in half and me and that thing.
I think that's the size I want too. What about you?
Bigger size.
Well, you
go
can
grab
have
plates,
more
please?
if you want.
Okay.
Oh, I got a spoon out for that whipped cream, but I don't know where it is.
Mommy.
We can just.
How does it look? Ooh, it looks good.
Gordon Ramsay would think it's good.
You think?
Who's Gordon, man?
Do you want some whipped cream?
Can I get the whipped cream?
I'm gonna do it so that
While videoing.
a lot or a little. This is Haley's.
A lot. Nuts. I don't want anything on the top. I just want a little bit of whipped cream.
Okay, wait to take a bite.
Oh yeah,
I
Dad.
want to dip my finger
She
in
just
the whipped
proved you.
Go ahead.
It is a great piece of pie. Look at, you got the firm filling. The crust is good, and nice and thick, and holding. It's gonna make it delicious.
Emmett, his pie. Oh, you're using a spoon? Okay, everyone.
Pie time.
Pie time. Go ahead.
That whipped cream super good.
What do you think? Caden's grossing me out a little. His bite was so massive.
So good.
So good?
What do you think?
I don't know. Gotta try it. I had to film me trying it. A little whipped cream on the fork. Okay, that's actually a huge bite too.
Are you filming it?
A little bite now.
Mmm.
That's so good.
Oh, okay.
Definitely recommend that
Nice.
recipe. There you go. As promised, some tips about making apple pie. What are the best apples to use for apple pie? Right here it says Granny Smith apples, which is what I thought because they are more tart in flavor and it just adds a little pop to the flavor of your pie. But it also says here, if you want something with a little more sweetness, then you can go with Braeburn. I'm going to put it across the screen because I'm positive I'm saying that incorrectly. Braeburn, Golden Delicious, or Jana Gold. How many apples are in 6 cups? Typically, 1 medium apple yields 1 1/3 cups sliced. For 6 cups of sliced apples, you will need about 5 medium apples, which I found to be true. I used 6 apples for 7 cups. My apples were really big, though. Maybe that's why. Anyway, 5 medium apples to make this pie. Plus, you'll have a little left over to snack on, which is what I did. How do you keep the bottom of an apple pie from getting soggy? This one is so important. I wonder if it's every pie or if it's just apple pies. To avoid a pie bottom that's soggy, apple bottom pie kind of made me think of that song. Okay. Boots with the fur, apple bottom jeans, except I'm thinking apple bottom pie. Okay, I'm not being funny, I'm just being ridiculous. Allow the bottom crust to heat more rapidly than the rest of the pie. How do you do that? It tells me to do this, place a baking sheet in the oven while preheating, and then bake your pie on the sheet. I didn't do that, but that's genius. So you're gonna preheat your oven to 375. While you're doing that, you're gonna put a cookie sheet into the oven, and then once the oven is preheated, then you're gonna place your pie on that cookie sheet, which is gonna heat the bottom of your pie faster. Genius! Another good thing about having a cookie sheet in there is if your pie overflows, it has happened to me, it will catch that pie. The pie filling, sugar drippings. Anyway, it will catch whatever falls. I didn't do that this time, but I will definitely be trying that next time. Is it better to bake a pie in a glass or a metal pie dish? Both metal and glass pie plates work well for both baking I can't speak today. Both metal and glass pie plates work well for baking double crust pies, but for single crust pies that are pre-baked, a metal plate is preferred because it heats quicker and ensures a crisp crust. Oh, that makes sense. So like a coconut pie or a chocolate pudding pie, like a pudding pie that you're going to put in there, it says to use a metal one so that your crust can get really crisp. And then you add your pudding in later after it's baked. That makes a lot of sense. Ooh, there's something called an ultimate pie baking guide. I think I need to invest in that. Okay, just a minute. How do I keep my pie filling from being watery? This is a good question. To prevent your pie from getting watery, make sure to have your pie crust ready before mixing the filling. The longer the filling sits before baking, the more moisture it will release. I'm going to read that again. The longer the filling sits before baking, the more moisture will release. Okay, so this is what I did today, and I didn't even realize it was a tip. I made my pie crust first and got it ready in the pie dish while I was making the filling. And then once the filling was done, I could dump it right in the pie crust. So it sounds like if you let your pie filling, so today, in this case, it was apples and sugar and lemon juice and butter. If I had let those apples and sugar sit there for very long, they would start collecting moisture because the apples are going to release moisture, just like they're releasing moisture while they're baking. So, make your pie crust first. How should you store a baked apple pie? Once your pie is fully cooled, you can store it at room temperature in a pie dome, cake carrier, or in an airtight container for up to 2 days. Pie does not last that long in my house. Okay. After 2 days, it can go in the refrigerator and last an additional 2 more days. All right. Sounds good. Can you freeze an apple pie? If you're going to freeze your apple pie, it's best to freeze it before baking. I actually had this question. I was wondering if I could put it in the fridge, which I'm thinking it probably would have made it soggy after reading all I read about the soggy pie. Anyway, it's best to freeze it before baking, but you can freeze it after baking as well. Place either a baked or unbaked pie uncovered in the freezer. Once it's frozen solid, wrap the pie and store it in an airtight container and place it back in the freezer. Then you can keep it frozen for 3 to 4 months. Wow, I did not know that. If unbaked, let the pie fully thaw before baking. Very interesting. I didn't know that. All right, I hope you enjoyed these tips. Sorry, Emmett was pretty loud in this video. And I will show you the kids trying the pie now at the very, very, very end. So if you're still hanging around, we appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We hope you're having a wonderful day. We hope you like this pie recipe and this idea to try a pie every week until Thanksgiving, when it is the ultimate pie bake-off. Just kidding. A lot of people bake pie at Thanksgiving. That's why I said that. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't done so already, we would invite you to please subscribe, and we will talk to you soon. Bye!